Tune in, tune in. What's up, world? Let me turn this Rick Ross, Drake, and French Montana down. Let me go ahead, listen to that scheming. Because a lot of y'all probably out here scheming. What's up, world? It's popping. All right, check this out. Let's get into it. Barry Accius, more truth than you can handle. A lot of conversation about the boycott thing. A lot of folks asking my opinion. Barry, are you boycotting? What's your take on it? Perfectly honest with you, I got a few ideas on it. Few opinions, but the reality is I'm not going to work my mind, nor am I going to put pressure on folks that don't boycott the NFL. I've been telling Negroes that they needed to boycott sporting events, especially when the NBA, when Donald Sterling came out and basically called the brothers, the monkeys, as he liked to put it. You know, he shamed those Negroes and basically called them slaves. And what them Negroes did was turn around and put their jerseys, flip the jerseys backwards. So I thought right then and there, if we were going to move strategically in order for us to really put a power position play out, we should have had that moment and had the Warriors and the Clippers. And it would have had to come from the Clippers first because they'd had to move first. If those players just sat down and said, you know what, we're not finna play, because at this particular time, Donald Sterling said what he said, and it was the eve of what he said had come out. Eventually, he was thrown out of the NBA. But at that time, he still was the owner. The power move to me would have been, the Clippers sitting down, and that in return, Mark Jackson was the coach at that particular time. I remember him saying that, they were following the lead of the Clippers. Whatever they wanted to do, they would support that. It would have been powerful. It would have been huge if they all together sat down. Turning over your jerseys or whatever, your practice jerseys, to me, that's not effective enough, especially dealing with the powers that be. But when we talk about boycotting and talk about an economic push and a punch, though I hear some of folks not watching the NFL or not participating in fantasy leagues and different things that the NFL has in their package, it's probably done a marginally done something. I think the capacity of it being on national TV, and this was during the playoffs, some Negroes sitting down, not playing, and as the names get called, not standing up, would have created what we see as Colin Kaepernick right now. It would have never even had moved into a Colin Kaepernick that we see right now, because I think that the leagues would have saw that, okay, Negroes is banding together and they ain't playing, so we might watch how we move. That's not the case. So in the Colin Kaepernick situation, what you're finding out is, one, the effect of us boycotting, I understand what people are doing, I get it, but the effect of boycotting has to really come from the players. It can't come from us, Johnny come fan lately. I mean, yeah, there's so many of us that can, not show and not participate, but it has to come from the players. The players have to put that pressure on the league. The more and more you have players sitting down, the better it would be for Colin Kaepernick. If you have players saying that we're not going to play, that is going to speak volumes to the league compared to us, Johnny come lately fan or diehard, us sitting down saying boycott. I in particularly think when I say and I hear boycott, what are we going to get out of the boycott? What are we doing? I look at it, are we building from this boycott? It's easy for us to say, no, don't do this. But then when I look at it, what are we building the alternative for the thing that we're saying we're no longer going to participate in? Negroes got to start thinking, forget dealing with a boycott. We got to talk about dealing with the build. Boycott or build. What are we going to do? We're going to focus on the boycott, or we're going to focus on the build? I feel we need to focus more on the build. The machine is going to keep on going because Negroes are going to participate. But when you have other devices, other things that could position your strength in numbers to say, hey, here's your alternative, this is what we'll do, that I feel is a better play than just worrying about boycott. It's a difference when we could boycott buses, and Negroes will always use that. Well, our ancestors boycotted buses back in the day. Well, back in the day, the Negro was needed for the economics in America. Now, the economics is not just focused on the black Negro in America. It's got Asians, it got Latinos, it got Russians, you got Indians, you got all type of folks. That if the Negro said, "Hey, we're not doing this," then they could still live with or without us. And if they live with or without us, some Negroes will move and navigate to doing what the opposite of us are not doing. So if you say, I'm not going to watch NFL, there's going to be at least 100 niggas saying they're not going to watch NFL. There's going to be at least 200 niggas that's going to say we are watching. Fuck it. 500 niggas are saying we are watching. So in sense, I look at it that the major move that we need to make is the building process and creating that moment to where we as a team, as a collective, as an organized unit, we build infrastructure. That's how you win. That's how you stick it to them where it hurts. But in a boycott sense, those individuals that have to really shove it down those owners' throats are the players. It cannot come from only us. It has to be a contingent of players sitting out. Could you imagine watching the Colts and Rams, even though I'm sure that game was horrible, the Colts and Rams, and saying, wow, the Negroes are not playing? You're going to have all the white boys trying to go out there and play, and let's see how that works. That's what we have to do. The Negroes got to stop playing. The fans can stop. They're going to find some other fans to replace you. The Negroes have to stop playing. I'm not knocking nobody for doing a boycott, and I didn't watch any of the games, yesterday. But at the end of the day, if I check out a game, I'm doing so much building that Negroes can't even look at me sideways because I'm looking at, what are you building? What are you doing in the communities? That's what we have to do. Let's build within our community and not focus on boycotting. Colin Kaepernick definitely did something that was powerful, that was great. We all know that the reason why he's not in the NFL is not because of his skill, it's because he stood up for something. That's great. So that should tell you more that the systems that we have given all of our talents, our energy that we've helped build, they don't respect us. What they will respect is not Negroes boycotting. They will respect when Negroes build something that could either be in competition or build something to where Negroes don't even have to worry about being in that place, asking permission on when and how we need to be and how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to behave. So it's boycott or build. That's my whole idea. Boycott or build. What are we building and who is really building? You can boycott all day and stand on that boycott, but if you're not building, if you're not changing anything that creates why we have to boycott, that is a problem to me. Just as much as some individuals that are playing or watching this football like nothing has happened. I'm not going to try to convince everybody why we should move in this way. What I will do is convince folks on why we need to build. This is a reason why we need to build. The boycotting on a whole can only do so much. But until we have our own systems, the same situations are going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to be in this situation. We're going to continue to have to beg, plead, or pretend as if, we want to be a part of a system that doesn't really care too much about us. They want us to shut up and play. Until we build, give that alternative, set a different direction, then we'll have the power. So I do see boycotting as a solution, but I do look at boycotting as just a little slap when a real big punch can be the players boycotting, not the friendly neighborhood fan or the diehard fan. I can't expect that from them because in the particular time, that's not going to work like it's worked back in the day. Back in the day, black folks were needed for a certain reason to help the economics of America. It's changed now. The only way we really make a real wave on this is those players have to do the boycotting, not us fans. We as fans can now do the build. We need to do the build. So don't get all defensive, folks. Don't lose family members over some people not boycotting. Let them do what they want to do. But everybody that is boycotting, I salute you. But at the same time, make sure you are putting your energy and your time into doing the building, helping your people in your community, focusing and building in your family. You know, we spend so much time talking about boycotting. Some folks need to look at their family, right? Their family circle and see what they need to build in that. Because shit, you talking about someone else's home. You got to create something in your own home before you worry about someone else's. So I'm not going to lose any sleep off of, this whole NFL thing. I'm not even into sports as much as I've been in the years because I know it's just bullshit and I have other things to do. And there's plenty of other stuff you can do besides watch football all day. But my thing again, boycott or build. Which side are you on? I am for the build. I could give damns about boycotting any of this shit. This is entertainment. Let that shit be. You already know what it is. So you've been educated on what it really is. They don't want us being who we are in their system. Shut up, Negro, and play. That's what we want you to do. We'll allow the rapists. We'll allow the woman beaters. We'll allow the drug addicts. We'll allow the alcoholics. We'll allow all those people that have misconduct to come in our league. But as soon as a black man speaks upon injustice and oppression in America, that becomes a problem. So with that being said, fuck that boycott and let's start building, people of America, my black people. Let's start building. They've already told you what it is. Colin Kaepernick has helped show, man, it ain't about my skill. It's not about no flag. It's because I spoke out. So if those players don't see that and want to stand for their brother and say, hey, we check this out. No NFL moves without us. That's on them, not on us. We got to be a part of the build. Let's build. Let's create. Let's develop. Let's develop, black folks. So, every situation I say, the power comes into those who are in those power structures, and in those power structures are those athletes. Those athletes got to be the ones to stand up and step up and say, man, we ain't going for it. That's the way they shut down white supremacy on that side. They just don't play. But Negroes got too many paychecks, and that's why they pay these Negroes. That's why these Negroes are paid top dollars. Understand that. Negroes is paid top dollar by white supremacy for a reason. Don't get it twisted like they're paying these Negroes because they like them. No, they're paying these Negroes because I'm going to pay Negroes just so much money to where Negroes try to make a stand or anything, they're going to think twice. That's why we play ourselves when we create Negro leagues and decide to go into Major League Baseball and not keep our Negro league. Oh, we can have a few you Negroes in Major League Baseball, but we're going to keep our Negro league just in case you mother effers act up. I always say the analogy, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife. Do you guys have 2 cars in a household? Some stupid folks will say, no, we don't need 2 cars. We need 1. Well, motherfucker, unless you living in New York, I'm going to have 2 cars in a household just in case my wife, my girlfriend, she starts tripping, just in case one of our cars are down, right? 2 is always better than 1. That's security. That's not about, I don't trust you, I don't love you. It's just about security. So if we can't understand that having our own is better than being in a position to where someone has all of the control because they dominate this one particular area and we have to go to them for everything, that puts us in the worst predicament. We in the figure 4 and we can't get out. So that's the biggest situation that I feel comes out of this. When you think about it, we playing ourselves because we want to play within the system and not build our own. Build our own. You set the rules. You dominate. You have it how you want to have it. That's the American way. Capitalism at its mother effing finest. The only thing about Negroes is we don't play it. That's why they pay these high-priced Negroes high dollar, because when it's time for them to take a stand, they sit their asses down. So y'all folks, man, like I say, enjoy y'all NFL, man. Try to make some money off your bet and do whatever you feel like you need to do. But let's focus on the build, not the boycott. You heard me? More truth than you can handle.